The time has come, inevitably, where we have to face issues of equality between human beings on every level. And homosexuals have been marginalised, in my view, for too long. People who kick people out of the church for reasons of a sexual orientation that they did not choose, or if they are parents of someone who has a sexual orientation they did not choose, they're going to have a hard time facing the judge, in my view. Jesus was not like that. The Pharisees were, and that's why Jesus got so uptight, so angry, with this kind of pharisaical attitude, that, you know, if you don't conform to our view, or the gospel view, or truth, or whatever it is, however we define it, then you're out of here. Those are the people Jesus got most angry at.
Rowland is a Baptist minister who runs John Mark Ministries, an organisation providing counselling and support to pastors and church leaders, many of whom are homosexual. He's critical of the conservative Christian view that homosexuals should either change their orientation or abstain from sexual activity.
There are three categories of sexual activity which are proscribed, they believe, in the Bible, and I believe this too. Fornication, sex between at least one unmarried person; adultery, sex with a married person who's not your spouse; homosexual sexual activity. Homosexual sexual activity and adultery is generally policed pretty thoroughly, but not fornication. The vast majority of our young people who are married in conservative churches, and in other churches for that matter, are not virgins. So not to put too fine a point on it, they're fornicators, but they are not disciplined publicly as the others might be. Now I have a question about that kind of hypocrisy. The way forward has to be some way of acceptance of people at whatever point they are in the process of change. But the way forward also has to be to reinforce the traditional macro theological foundations of the church. And they are very few, really. And they are to do with God and our loving one another, and the authority of the Bible, right? And our relating to one another in terms of compassion and acceptance. Now, if we can do that, there'll be a way forward. But if we're going to be judgmental on the one hand, or totally permissive on the other, I don't think there's any way we're going to reconcile those two ends of the spectrum.